in terms of selecting the chairman, remember that PF is the biggest political party in the Tonse Alliance. Okay? PF is the biggest political party in the Tonse Alliance. And my view is that, my personal view, not the official position of Tonse.
Of the alliance, okay.
Yes. My personal view is that when we select a chairman for Tonse, that chairman will come from the Patriotic Front. Okay? Because they are the biggest member of the Tonse Alliance. So it would only be appropriate for that chairman to come from the Patriotic Front. But I do not subscribe to people trying to hijack the process and impose themselves as chairman. Because for current purposes, the Constitution is very clear. In the absence of the chairman, the vice chairman acts until such a time that we will select a substantive chairman. If I was given a preference among the PF leaders in terms of who I would wish the Tonse Alliance, the new Tonse Alliance chairman.
And that's your personal view, by the way, just to underline that.
Yes, that's my personal view. If I was given that preference, I think I would put my choice on Honorable Brian Mundubile. I think he's sober, and I think he can take us somewhere. You understand? That's my personal preference. In terms of the apparent disagreements which are in place now, the genesis of that is that I've explained this background a number of times. When our chairman left, when he was still alive, when he left the jurisdiction to go to South Africa to seek medical attention on the 19th of January 2025, he left the vice chairman as acting. That's Professor Dan Pule. Professor Dan Pule was the acting chairman because that's what the Constitution provides. He was not acting because ECL selected him or appointed him to act, no. In fact, the Constitution does not give the power to the chairman to appoint an acting. There's no such power given to the chairman. So even if ECL wanted to appoint anyone to be acting, he wouldn't have done that because the Constitution didn't give him that power. You understand? The acting chair is prescribed by the Constitution of the Tonse Alliance. So when ECL left the jurisdiction, he left Professor Dan Pule to act. Because the Constitution provided for that. And Professor Dan Pule did that. He was vice chairman and acting chairman of the Alliance, and we held a number of meetings. I think 3 or 4 meetings. Okay. In those meetings, the other members of Tonse, including Honorable Given Rovinda, attended those meetings, chaired by the vice chairman, who was also acting chairman. And then sometime towards the end of February, Professor Dan Pule had to go to India for medical attention. Okay? He had to leave the jurisdiction. So we faced ourselves with a situation whereby both the chairman and the vice was not around. So the question then is, what does the Constitution provide? You know, Article 3, the same Article 3 of the Constitution is very explicit. It says, when the chairman and the vice are both out of jurisdiction, the Council of Leaders shall meet and shall elect one among themselves to chair a particular meeting. Okay. So, assuming that there will be more than 2 people who are interested to chair a meeting, then you do an internal election. Yeah. But when we did meet, Honorable Given Rovinda expressed his desire to chair the meeting. There was no one else who had a desire to chair the meeting. Okay. So, Honorable Given Rovinda went through unopposed, so to speak. He chaired the meeting. And then we held, I think, about 2 or 3 other meetings, whereby, again, no one expressed interest to chair the meeting. So, again, Honorable Rovinda went through unopposed. Okay. The problem started when the vice chairman came back from India. Okay? When the vice chairman came back from India, first of all, he wasn't feeling very well. So, he was indisposed for a while, I think a number of weeks. And then, when he felt better, he convened a meeting of the Tonse Alliance because he had resumed his duties. When that meeting was convened, there was resistance by Honorable Given Ruvinda and the people that supported him, because they claimed that he should remain the acting chairman. Okay, so when that resistance came about, we said, okay, what are your arguments? Why do you think he should remain the acting chairman? Because the constitution is very clear. Okay, so they provided their submissions, their arguments, and we tried to deliberate on that matter internally until, we came to the realization that it would actually benefit us to bring on board some of, some neutral people who can sit both the Honorable Luvinda and Professor Danpure together, and then hear the submissions from both parties, and then make a determination and move forward from there. So as we speak, that is where we are right now. Okay, so the insinuations that some of the people have been trying to peddle that the non-PF members of the Tonse Alliance are fighting the PF and preventing the PF from chairing Tonse, those are wrong insinuations. Like I told you, Mr. Zoro, personally, I feel that the substantive chair of Tonse should come from the Patriotic Front. But that person has to be someone who is selected using due process of the alliance, not someone who comes and tries to do a coup and hijack and become chairman. That we are not going to tolerate.
Is that what Mr. Luvinda has been doing?
Well, I don't want to comment on a specific individual, but I'm just explaining to you.
Because he's the name that you've thrown in the hat as far as him being chairman and him resisting the vice chairman from taking over or from acting as chairperson of the Tonse Alliance.
All I can say, Mr. Zuro, is that we will not allow confusion in the Tonse Alliance. We will allow the constitution to be respected, and that there is